thank you. I am so delighted to be here. This is a very unique place tonight at Tower Park. It is the only park in Iowa tonight where there is only one presidential candidate. And I happen to fit that bill. And I want to thank you for coming out to talk about how to restore honor, integrity, and a positive vision in the United States, starting right here in Iowa. And we're going to talk a little bit about the existential threat of climate change. But I've met a couple people I want to mention tonight that I just want to get a couple things off my chest. I met Randy, who is an IBEW member, and I mention Randy because he's an inspiration to me. I am proud to say there was one candidate on that debate stage in Miami 2 nights ago who said we need to reinvigorate the union movement so the people who gave us the weekend can give us a raise after 25 years. We are going to have a new collective bargaining law in the United States. Randy, I want to thank your leadership. We know Donald Trump is wrong. Wind towers do not cause cancer. They cause IBEW jobs, and we're going to put 8 million people to work in the clean energy industry. And we understand that. I met a former friend I haven't seen for a couple decades, Marquita Oliver. Marquita and I used to live in the Yakima Valley in Washington. I raised my 3 sons in the sagebrush and the apple orchards of the Yakima Valley, about 130 miles east of Seattle. I'd married my high school sweetheart in Seattle and then raised our kids where I practiced law and raised alfalfa. I kind of like to be in an agricultural state because this is kind of where I came from, baling hay. And by the way, the reason I'm running for president is I really don't like baling hay that much. But I was in Yakima as a state legislator where I learned a particular skill set, and that was how to beat Republicans. And it was one of my favorite things in life, where I beat Republicans twice in a state legislative race in a 64% Republican district. Then I beat a Republican in a 63% Republican district, and I was representing Marquita at the time. And in 1994, a bill came up to ban assault weapons. And I knew if I voted to ban assault weapons, I would probably lose my seat. This is a very Western agricultural community. But I want to tell you, I voted to ban assault weapons. I lost my seat, but I have never regretted that vote for 1 second. That was the vote right there. It was the right vote then. It's the right vote now. And I'm happy to report to you that I've got the NRA on the run in Washington State. And if I'm given the honor of being president, we're going to have them on the run nationally. We're going to do nationally what we've done in our state, which is to pass 3 common sense gun measures so our kids don't have to be afraid to go to school. That's what I'll do as president of the United States. And I was happy when I was at the White House last February to look Donald Trump in the eye and said, your idea of arming teachers with Glocks is idiotic. You need to do less tweeting and more listening to educators so we can make our kids happy to go to school again. So that takes us to the night before last, when Trudy and I got to Miami. It was pretty ironic to arrive in Miami as the climate change champion in the Democratic field. And here's why it was ironic. The day we got to Miami was the hottest day in the history of Miami on that day. And we went out to do a little press conference at the Everglades to talk about my plan to break the shackles of the fossil fuel industry in our democracy. And our plan to do what is the right thing, to take back the $20 billion that they take out of taxpayers' pockets and put that in clean energy jobs so we can put people to work in the jobs of the future, not just the jobs of the past. And it was the right message. But as I was speaking, in the background was this hall of smoke. You know, it was burning 4,000 acres of wetlands, of swamp. When your swamps are on fire in your country, we know we've got a problem. That day it was 114 degrees in Paris, France. That day there were people still trying to clean up the molten aluminum in Seminole Springs, California, where I met a woman named Marcia Moss who'd lost everything in the forest fires. She had had the same type of tears with the same salinity as a woman named Regina Haddock that I met in Davenport, who had a nonprofit for 10 years called Dress for Success. She helped victims of domestic violence get back on their feet until the floods this year that came and overtopped the temporary dikes and wiped out her nonprofit. Now, here's the reason I mentioned Marcia and Regina. I get damn mad when I hear the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, say that there's no problem with carbon pollution or the climate crisis. Wake up and smell the carbon dioxide, Mike Pence. We have more pollution today, not only in any time in American history, than any time in human history. It is time to have a president to do what I'm pledging to do. And I am unique amongst the candidates. If I am given this high honor, I will make defeating climate crisis the #1 priority of the United States. It will be the organizing principle of my administration. We will mobilize the entire United States economy, and we will do what we always do as Americans. We will lead the world, and we will invent the future, and we will fulfill our moral obligation to our kids and grandkids to defeat climate crisis. That's what I'm about.